prepaid combo plan and we'll give you a 30-day plan absolutely free. That's a whole month on us. 36 gigabytes of data, unlimited calls and texts, plus all the social media and WhatsApp you need to share every festive moment. Plus, spin the wheel for even more prizes. Switch to Flow Prepaid today and get your next combo on the house. Sign up in-store today or visit online at discoverflow.co. We keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All righty, so time right now, SVG, it is 8:21, and we are back with you for another segment of our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. In studio, it is DJ Maka, Rajiv, and myself, Roleza Samuel. All right. So, all drivers in the room, all right? All proper drivers?
All proper drivers. All responsible drivers.
All righty. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the driving experience here in SVG, right? So 3 of the things that we are going to be looking at. So I see Serena calling. Let's see if we can take this quickly. Hi, Serena.
Morning, Diana. Roleza.
Morning, Serena.
Oh, God, girl, I miss you so much as God.
Yeah, I'm back, man. I'm back.
Yeah, thank God you're back. And Maka,
morning.
God you're feeling better.
Yeah.
But Miss Boyd said to tell you, she have a granddaughter named Maka, so she love you very much.
Oh, yes.
Yes, she's in Grenada. Yeah, that granddaughter's in Grenada.
Okay.
Yeah, so she said to tell you she love you very. She just give me some word, eh? Oh, Lord, what?
Tell she loves you too.
So you just spreading your love?
Yeah, just spread the love around, man. Come on, man. That's what you do.
And Happy New Year to everybody, Rajik, everybody, and family.
Thank you. Same return.
All right, then.
All right.
I'm ready to be born.
All right.
Okay, then.
All right. Have a good one,
Bye.
Serena. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to get into it. The driving experience here in SVG. And we're going to be looking at 3 areas in particular, right? Derelict vehicles parked along the roadside, and driving at night. All right.
Let me talk about vehicle parking along the road first. Oh boy.
Go ahead, Mark.
That start to get really, really, really overbearing.
Both region, now.
Oh boy. You want to see vehicle park aside the road? Go up to Lago Height.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I actually had to drive up there recently.
Up to Lago Height.
It's like a nightmare. And then the worst thing is like meeting up on a vehicle coming down when you're heading up, and like, usually the same
vehicle
thing
park on your hand. And then on the opposite hand, vehicle coming down is a problem.
Yeah, and sometimes they have a vehicle parked on their side too, so it's like it's a way to pull over.
And it started to happen on the main road too.
Yeah.
The main road is where it is I have an issue, right? Because some roads, we already have roads that could only accommodate maybe 2 vehicles comfortably, maybe, right? And in certain areas where persons are parked, let's say just before you approach a corner. I remember there was a night when somebody could have just clearly write me off because of the fact that because of where a vehicle was parked and it was approaching a corner, I had to go around. So of course, a vehicle coming down, they're on their right hand, right? Because I have to go around this vehicle. We're driving in opposite directions. But the vehicle was coming down under full speed. So who would have been at fault there? Would I have been at fault? Because I had to go around a parked vehicle, And I think what it is a real concern to me is I can appreciate. Now, people don't misinterpret this, don't take this in the wrong way, right? I can appreciate everybody wanting to have their own vehicle, right? Some persons look at having a vehicle as a sign of standard of living, right? In that you're able to afford a vehicle, the maintenance that goes along with it, the comfort, etc., that goes along with it, right? But not everybody right now is in a position to have a vehicle. And I'm saying that is because unless you know exactly where your vehicle is going to be parked, safely out to the road, I'm putting the rest of this safely out to the road, I really and truly do have an issue.
The problem I have, like, let's say 4 persons living in a house, and the 4 persons have vehicles.
Well,
I ain't gonna lie, back in the day, I used to think like that, but I do understand why 4 persons might want, because when I'm ready to bounce, I'm ready to bounce.
yeah, and it's 4 different schedules, so, and the way things are spread out in the country in terms of
but the
businesses
4
and so
persons
now.
don't have parking. That's the thing.
That's the point that I'm making. Before you get a vehicle, do you consider where am I going to park this vehicle?
So maybe people should look into hey, maybe modifying my property ahead of getting extra
but some
vehicles.
people can't.
And that's the thing, some
people live above the road, some people live below the road.
Yeah, that's the kind of funny thing about it.
Or even some people, based on how their houses, especially if they're already along the main road, there isn't provision for them to be able to pull aside because of how they built the house in the first place. Yeah. But we really and truly do have to do something about this. And I know that, I think we brought it up before in Cop Chat. In that I was asking, I had thrown out the question, but an architect did come back and tell me, yes, that whenever a house is being designed now, it has to make accommodations for at least a vehicle to be parked there, right? And I think I am just so annoyed.
Because if you look at the recent houses built by through the government's housing scheme, the low and middle income ones, all of them have driveways built into them already.
Okay.
So you don't really see them just plop a house down and just put a walkway and call it a day. They make provision for in the future. If the person decides to purchase a vehicle, they can at least store one vehicle in the default configuration. If you want to add more space over time, then that's on you. But
you could imagine the city, how it's going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. And all those vehicles coming in. You see the amount of vehicles on the port right now?
Yeah, I do.
And that's it. Where are all these, in many cases, where are all these, okay, unless you've already made provision for where you're going to be parked, where are all these vehicles going to go?
Well, you see, the thing is too, if maybe people are replacing the vehicles, so maybe the vehicles spreading out to certain areas. So whereas maybe I in Kingston purchased a new vehicle, and I sell it to a person living on either the further leeward end of the island or the further windward end of the island. It spreads out into that area. Maybe in those areas, maybe they don't have quite as many vehicles yet. So maybe it just spreads, it just replaces one vehicle with another.
But there are some persons who have more than one vehicle too.
Yes.
So in case one break down, I have another one.
Yeah.
But as long as they're able to park it on their property, I have no problems with that.
Yeah, I think that's the main issue.
That is the issue is really and truly about, and there isn't necessarily space for the roads to be expanded in many places because the roads are already how they are. Houses are already built alongside these roads. So even if the government wants to expand some of these roads to accommodate, let's say a 3-lane vehicle or whatever, that's not going to happen.
Yep.
So we really and truly do need to, something needs to be done.
I've seen people play with the idea of saying, they want the government to introduce some sort of legislation to say, well, if you have a vehicle, then you have to make a modification to your house to accommodate the vehicle. But with the point that y'all made this morning with the current houses.
I think where possible, because I've seen there's a house when I'm going down from Kittles to Clear Valley that initially maybe I didn't think about it, but what they did is that they dug it out, right? It's right along the road. That Kittles to Kittles Road can't be expanded, right? But they had enough land there where they were able to dig it out and a vehicle is able to park in now. So I think that where it is possible for modifications to be made, that should be considered, right?
Yeah, I guess in that implementation, they could have their surveyors or whoever the relevant person come to the areas and say, listen, we see that you have area for expansion here. And maybe in this case, I don't know if the government would want to say hey, it's going to be a subsidized wherever for materials or whatever to have the work done, because it would be in their interest to free up the roads anyway, that you have a parking space on your property. So I don't know if that's something, when the person mentioned that, I don't know if that was what they were thinking.
When you leave Chauncey bus stop and you're driving heading to Clare Valley, on your right, I see Roleza smile.
In a corner.
I see Roleza smile. I guess you know what I'm talking about.
There are 3 vehicles.
Exactly. I don't know why people park
3 vehicles lined right around the corner. All right. Yes, I know about that road. Yes, I know.
You cannot see around the corner because vehicle park on the right side. I don't understand why people park that way.
Yeah. So when you think about it, I don't know. I don't necessarily. So I understand maybe given an incentive, but I think sometimes as citizens we do need to take some sort of responsibility as well. I think we don't necessarily think of others. It's like you saying that you want to have a vehicle, you're going to get this vehicle, you must find parking somehow or somewhere, but you don't think about the implications or how it's going to affect other persons.
There are situations that it's who first reach get the parking.
Yeah. Because it's public road.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't take paint in from Maka wall and say, well, I park in here, so then call it Rajiv.
I know there's a situation like that in my area. So if I first reach, I park here. The other person first reach, he park here.
Yeah.
You understand? So parking has become a problem in St. Vincent. I don't know.
And with every new car boat that comes in, it is becoming more and more of a problem.
You look at they say like some people come to Kingston like before 7 o'clock in the morning, something right after 6 just to secure a parking. I know of one situation years ago where they have multiple vehicles in the family, and the two vehicles come to town early in the morning just to park one of the vehicles in town, so they would have a secured parking for later in the morning.
I used to hate walking in town for that reason, because you have to, if you don't reach in town, at least that's between 6:30, 6:45, 7, you can't find parking. Free parking.
On that same note of parking in Kingston, remember, how would you guys feel about the implementation of the parking meters in that case then?
Parking meters.
Boy, for how long it'll take when you're going to some businesses and it's not your fault? I don't know. I don't know. Because sometimes you think that you're just going to make a quick stop into a particular business and you end up taking forever.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be, all right, so we have.
Let me take a call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Queens. Let me first up before you go any further. Thank you very much. You want me to tell people why I'm saying thank you?
Yes, hello.
All right. So most of you would know that Queens is like one of my problematic callers, right? Queens is sometimes raise my blood pressure. And during the Christmas, Kingsley called to tell me that there are 2 books, one for me and one for Diana. When Kingsley told me who it came from, he said it was Queens. Queens, I burst out laughing. I have to tell you this, I burst out laughing, but it was a laughter of pleasant surprise, right? So I know that there are times, we agree, but sometimes we also disagree. But let me just let you know that I thoroughly was happy to receive the gift and knowing who the gift came from. All right. So thank you very much. And unfortunately,
book is that?
It's 2 books from Obama, one from Michelle and one from Barack Obama.
His and hers.
Yeah, his and hers. No, it wasn't a love book. Right. So Queens, I really wanted to tell you thank you for that. It was a very thoughtful gesture and very much unexpected.
Yeah, because we were talking about the printed media one time, and I told you that I sometimes buy books and sometimes I don't get to finish reading them. And you said, bring one for me. You remember?
I actually don't.
Yeah,
maybe I said it in joke. I don't know.
Remember, yeah. You must bring them for me. You said, bring them for me. You said, bring them for me.
Okay.
So I actually went out and bought those.
Much appreciated,
that
Queens.
That same day when Cecil Ryan cut me off, that same Sunday, that same day I bought that.
He just had to, and he just had to. All right, Queens.
And the parking, I see that the Anglican parking lot was empty. A lot of people wasn't parking in there. It was almost empty.
That's my parking lot. Just saying, that's my parking lot.
Yeah. They don't want to pay the $3.
But I would walk uptown. Now, if I have load, then I would use wrong town taxi and come down. But yeah, it's away from town. I hate driving in Kingston itself, especially when there's traffic.
Yeah, they talk about sometimes people don't want to walk too far. Sometimes I find parking downtown a couple of times downtown. I park downtown or walk uptown. Some people don't want to walk that far and all that stuff. That's what it is, some kind of something. All right. So
all right. Thanks, Queens. All right. And Diana says thanks as well.
Done.
Oh, okay.
Somebody on the WhatsApp say in Barbuda they have 1 vehicle per household.
Oh, Lord. I don't think I don't agree with that limiting I don't agree with that limiting vehicles. I would agree with you have to know where you're going to park these vehicles.
But then the limit has to be implemented due to an issue that they see.
Yeah, but it's on your property. If it's on your property. Yeah. All right. So I see that on the live, Ari saying, I prefer my convenience to yours. I should catch van because I don't have a park. Nonsense. That's what Ari's saying. All right. Then we see another person saying blocking driveways so that you can enter your property. Parking meters. They're saying yes to that. All right. All right. So as we on this whole topic of vehicles, derelict vehicles too have become an eyesore for me. Right. And it's not just along the main roads, but I find that even within our communities themselves. Again, every time we see cardboard come in, you were making mention of maybe persons are, you being Rajiv, sorry, that maybe these persons are selling their vehicles to other persons, but not everybody is selling the vehicles. Some of these people have their vehicles parked upon people's land, right?
Correct.
Let's take this call before we continue. Hi, Joshua, morning.
Hi, happy New Year.
To you too, thanks.
I would just like to make that clarification. It's Bermuda, Bermuda. And we are 21 square miles. So we must have restricted access vehicles. So there's a law, 1 car per household. And it works quite well for us. And as far as parking is concerned, the question is there limited parking in Kingston? You know, like you have you park for 1 hour. Or if you have parking meters, if you exceed, you get clamped or, you know, whatever penalty there is. Is there limited parking in Kingston?
No, there isn't limited parking. We don't have parking meters either. Is as Maka kind of mentioned, first come, first served.
Yep.
And depending on where you park, you end up staying for the whole day.
And no offense to you, Maka. A lot of people get mixed up with Bermuda and Barbuda. We're two completely different countries, like a few thousand miles away from each other. So I had to make that clarification.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where it came out from, though. Okay, I didn't realize that. All right, thanks, Joshua.
Yeah. Okay, no problem.
All right. Yeah, so to the topic of derelict vehicles. Now, again, with all of these vehicles that are coming in, have persons actually thought about where you're going to put all of these old vehicles, right? I tend to find, well, even in the community where I am, so there are areas that have vacant land. I believe that it belongs to people, right? But people just park their vehicles there. And it's an eyesore. And I don't even think
On
that...
people vacant land?
Well, it's not in use. So I guess the vehicle's just there. And I always remember there was one time... I need to pause and listen. I remember there was one time a friend bought a vehicle to use to get parts off of it. And where he placed the vehicle, I said, well, why are you bringing the vehicle and... leaving it there? He has to turn around and ask me, why is this of a concern to me? Right? And I'm like, because of the fact it's going to create an eyesore. Now, mind you, it's not my property, yes, right? But you are driving into the community. You are just going to be seeing this vehicle there. And as I said, it has just turned to rust, right? It has a little copperish looking color. It has turned to rust. And persons, again, are not thinking about these little things. For him, it's like, it's not on my property, so I should not be concerned.
But aside from the ISO part of it too, there's a health implication as well, where these old vehicles have pockets where water could get caught up and
breed mosquitoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Rats could be there and everything else. And even another thing too is there's a vehicle that's up at Lomont, obliquely opposite the court. And I keep wondering if authorities, because I know the vehicle ain't moving, right?
Yeah, that vehicle look like it needs some transmission or something.
Why is the vehicle has been allowed to be there for so long? The registration number is there, the plate number is there. Why has this vehicle been allowed to be there for so long?
Because apparently it is not obstructing any traffic.
And it's licensed, it's a licensed vehicle, right?
I want to believe
the license is up to date.
Well, I don't know about I don't know.
No, that's what I'm asking, because I'm not sure which vehicle you're talking about, because I know the CDVSA, they're active when it comes to derelict vehicles on the road. Once it's not, the license is not up to
But
date.
It's been there for a while,
Yeah.
One of the tires off.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning. Both of the tires are off. the both front tires are off. Morning.
Well, I just overhauled your conversation, right? With vehicles. Now, I think that people, if you don't have nowhere to park a vehicle, is not to get it. If you have a friend who will put it in a garage to you, you do that, right? But it have some people come and they park the vehicle right in front of you, they can't even come out. You know, especially in the night. You might be parking your vehicle and going somewhere else, and then the next thing, you don't want a vehicle or you don't have it for no purpose. It might be an old one. I could remember my neighbor had a car because I'm living here about 60-something years. And I'm 65. Remind you, the person bring the car and they put it right on my side. And the car, no, is me to get rid of the car after time. I get people to take it down and move it. And nobody is bringing back no vehicle and park it, neither in front of me, nor behind of me, nor and no personal space for me. It's not nice. Because if I have my vehicle, I am a driver. If I have a vehicle, it's coming down in my yard because I see a parked vehicle in the road and people scratch it, people pull off the sidings, all sorts of things. So I am saying if people don't have nowhere to park a vehicle, if they have a friend's place they could park a vehicle, it's not too bad because it's nice having a little vehicle for yourself. But you have old vehicle, there's somewhere to park it. You have an old truck, there's somewhere you can't park it in front of people. It's not very nice.
Agreed. Yes.
And, it's not nice. And number two, it have people who will willfully park a car or a truck on a piece of land where they see nobody occupying. It doesn't mean that the person doesn't want the land they may be able to see, but they don't want somebody parking an old vehicle and leave it there to rot down. You understand? So this is my view for this morning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia.
There's a truck park in Barley Glebe Hill, right on top of the hill, right in the corner, for days now. And I don't know if anybody make any complaint to the traffic department. That truck right in the corner for how many days now?
It's part with no issue, like mechanical issues.
Well, the only thing I see is the damp up. And it's right in the corner.
Yeah, but then even Rajiv, I see you keep asking about whether or not these vehicles have issues, right? But you can't be on the road for an extended period of time either.
That's true, because the police actually have addressed it in the past before. If you have a set amount of time to get the vehicle in order, and if it can't be fixed within that time, you organize a tow truck or flatbed
and take it off the road.
Take it off the road. But you see people running from the cost associated with doing that, because people would make the argument that the same money you take to get a flatbed to move it, you can have the vehicle repaired, because depending on where you're moving it from to, it's going to cost you a pretty penny.
I don't know. I sometimes wonder, and especially with the one at Lomans, right? I especially wonder if authorities are not passing and seeing this vehicle.
Of course.
Right? I just cannot understand why for the life of me it has been there. And I'm sure it's been there for months, not so?
Yep.
It's been there for months.
But the thing is, with that vehicle now, it is not obstructing the flow of the boat traffic.
It's an ISO.
Huh?
It's an ISO to me. Right? It's an ISO.
I understand, but
because you see, also too, I can't speak for the authorities because I am not them, but I think with them too, they don't want to come down too harsh,
too heavy-handed.
Yeah, because then we've had times in the past when authorities flex the muscle, and people say, "Oh gosh, you can wild up people for that, give people a chance," and so we've seen this kind of thing happen in the past, and even though we agree the perpetrator in the case might be wrong, we say, well, maybe the police could have used, or whoever authority it is.
But you see, that's exactly why in many cases we just, if anything happens, anything goes, right? Because people are doing what they are assigned to do. This is their duty to do, but we want to blind, right? Or we come down on them for actually doing their jobs.
Yeah, because we're an empathetic people, you know.
we're empathetic, but to a point, Rajiv. It has to be to a point.
I understand, but you know, some people's threshold are wider than others. You know, some people could handle a bit more in terms of tolerance than others.
So really, say before we go quickly, what the problem you have with headlamps?
Lights, boy, listen. I thought that this was. My senior citizens don't get offended, right? But I thought this was an old people thing, right? In terms of them saying they don't want to drive at night. I probably fall into that category, right? Because when it comes to driving any nights right about now, unless it is a short distance, or unless I know exactly where it is going, I've driven that route several times. I don't want to leave home any night. So I could drive it, you know, like you're on autopilot when you're driving, right? That is how I want to be.
So you have a problem with
some of these lights. Yeah, and my whole thing is that I'm really truly trying to understand what is the issue. Is it that, again, common road courtesy we don't know in terms of when you're approaching each other that you're supposed to dim the lights? Is it that new drivers don't know this? I remember that I was told that, but I remember when a friend when I had just got my vehicle, I didn't drive at night. I didn't practice to drive at night. So he went with me the first time when I got it. And he was like, dim your light. But I was like, if I dim my light, I can't see, right? He's like, no, it's common road practice to dim your light. I started driving in 2012. But I don't see people doing this anymore.
On top of it being common road practice, is actually in the traffic road laws that you should dim your lamp when you're approaching another vehicle on the road. So it's more than just common practice. It's the law. You know.
Okay, I didn't even know that was the law.
Yeah, it was said here right there on the Clean First on WEFM 99.9 on Cop Chat.
Some of these LED lights, they can't really dim that much.
Yeah. And this is where maybe some sort of, I'm not calling for any load of regulation or anything on the table, but maybe there should only be a certain type of these bulbs allowed to be running on the road. Because why are you having a vehicle that running only in high beam all the time? That's a hazard, actually, quite literally, it's a hazard. You know, the only how you could dim your light is by turning it off. You still need to have.
But then again, some of these vehicles come in with these lights too.
Well, that's the other issue too, because it's not just a Vince engine issue. And I've seen people in North America complain about the new 2020, this and that vehicle. And in the marketing campaign for these new vehicles, we have these brighter than ever xenon lights. You can see all the way over to the curb. No, but the people are complaining these stock lights are blinding people to cabin.
Okay, so what it is, I do know I have an issue with the lights. I also recognize that in many places, our lighting is very poor, right? In terms of the street lights, it is very poor. When I'm driving through Kingston, I could drive on, what's that first light? Is it park light? So when I'm driving through Kingston at night, I could drive with the park light because
you shouldn't.
You shouldn't drive on it with the park light.
It's illegal.
All right. So I'm being informed this one, right?
There are some traffic cops in here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So my whole thing is I drive with it because I don't need to have that very bright light. Because when you're driving through the streets of Kingston itself, there are lights on both sides. So you don't need to have that extra lighting. So that's the reason why I do it, officers. That's the reason why I do it. But when I recognize that once you leave Kingston itself, the streets of Kingston, and let's say you pass in Gibson Corner or certain other places, that there isn't adequate lighting. Two persons passing at the same time, you cannot see where it is that you're going. You know, so that's another problem I think that we have in that there are many places in St. Vincent and maybe the Grenadines as well, but I could only speak for St. Vincent because I've only driven here, where we don't have adequate street lights and maybe the lights themselves are not bright enough to facilitate a proper driving experience.
Because it's one of those times when I was driving in a vehicle that had those bright LEDs in. I was coming from Maka at night. And you know those far leeward roads, the extra distance and so you get from those bulbs really come in handy in those sort of areas. When you're driving around main Kingston, Annisville, and so you don't need these bright lights to see your way around. But you're coming from these very far rural areas, it really, you could see the purpose of it then. But
y'all ever do light for light? Like when someone refused to dim the light, to just blast back yours?
Of course.
All right.
Of course.
I don't do it.
You don't do it?
Because I don't think I would like for both of us to be blind driving towards each other.
No, but my whole thing is that, okay, if I've already dimmed my lights, right? And we've gotten to a point where we can both pass. but you are not dimming yours. And I just blast back mine.
You know, one of the problem that people have too, you know, people having those bright lights in the headlamp, and they have the bright lights also in the fog lamp. So even though you dim the headlamp, the fog lamp are so bright that it still affect people who come in towards you.
Because normally if I dim, I'll dim both the fog and the high. And
If you dim it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And I always dim. Once I approach a vehicle, that's what I always dim.
So that means you take off your light completely?
No, I still have I take it down from high beam. I take off the fog. So then the regular beam in front is, that's not super bright. That's just a regular, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So they can see the vehicle.
Right.
And
because if you have in fog lamp and you dim it, right, it's going to be the headlamp.
The headlamp.
And the fog lamp is still going to be on.
Yes. So you still have to, you have a separate switch.
Some vehicles have separate.
Oh, well, okay. Well, yeah. Some vehicles have a separate switch,
Yeah, but I know something needs to be.
What is it? What you need to do? Install LED lights. So
you can do light for light.
You can do light for light.
But you already don't believe it. But some persons are ridiculous. Like for me, I would turn it down, right? So that it gives you an indication. Take yours down as well, right? But some persons just insist they're not taking theirs down.
Because I've done that. I could
but
say
if it is in the night, both of you cannot take off all your
No,
light.
but if you get to a point where you realize that you can both safely pass, I'm not saying. Of course, there's going to be one person has to keep on the bright light so that they can pass. I get that. But if you're approaching each other, so we can't be blind and going to in the same in the opposite direction.
Like for instance, if you pull aside for another vehicle to pass in certain areas, your high beam does not need to stay on.
Correct.
You bring it down to the path so they can at least see the outline of your vehicle with the lights. And when they pass, you turn back on your higher lights and you continue driving.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people get in argument for all those bright lights, eh?
Yeah.
No, it's plenty costing. No, seriously, it's plenty
just
costing.
Just over the weekend, I heard a couple of people curse people over the lights. What happened? You don't understand your lights, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the person say, "Oh, what happened? If you can't see, you come off the road." And they said something, made a remark about the person's age. It was like, one thing I didn't have was popcorn. I was just sitting down behind the whole thing going on.
But it's not a matter of age, though. It really and truly is a problem with the lights themselves. I used to think it was maybe an age thing, but it
I would say the older, more mature people were the first ones to raise the issue because a lot of, let me see, intro the young people on the bus for a little bit. A lot of the younger people go for style over function, and they don't care that it's blinding. They say the car look tough, with the LED lights, and I'll admit it looks nicer. Something with the white lights and the
because people even put them on in the daytime.
Yeah.
Right.
For what?
Which is also illegal.
But for what? I could never understand that. For what?
Yeah, you're not supposed to turn on your bright bulb before a certain time. Okay. It's also in the traffic laws.
But they don't give ticket for that.
Oh yes, they do.
Yeah.
When they had the big clampdown the other day, somebody got a ticket for
having the lights on high daytime.
Before, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it wasn't low visibility or anything. It wasn't like overcast rain or anything, right?
Because people just a lot of people they turn on the fogs in the day, and so because
you see, this is where the problem come in. There are vehicles that come into the country. Soon as you turn on the vehicle, the fog light could come on.
Yeah, the more modern vehicles,
right?
They call them daytime running lights.
Right. So,
and I guess in that case, I don't think you could be charged because the only way to get that off is by removing the bulb out.
Listen,
you're not supposed to charge anybody.
So many things need to be addressed right about now. So many things. All right. So we could head on out.
Yeah.
All right, we could head on out. So this is the driving experience here in SVG, and maybe not just in SVG, but several matters need to be addressed, and we're hoping that the authorities look into them. All right. This is the Flow Activated Mornings program here on WEFM.
Nothing else sounds as good as